Hi friends, I had a very interesting conversation with a parent today. She had a consultation session with me, and her son is now 6 years old and he's having a diagnosis of autism. So she came to me and she mentioned that, if I can give some kind of exercise which helps the child to sit at one place and to answer just four questions so that he could qualify and he could get admission in that school. It was a very strange request which I've never got ever, and I tried to again dig deeper to understand where is that coming from. She told me that if her son gets admission to the school, then the full year they can somehow manage, even if he's not able to pick up academics, even if he's not able to sit at one place, it is fine. I tried understanding what is it that she wanted deep down, by getting her son admitted to a regular school. She said, "It is my dream that my son gets admission to this school. I know he cannot sit. I know he cannot answer and have a conversation, but it doesn't matter. We'll just get him admitted in the school, and then the school has no option and they will continue for at least this academic year with him." I remember having a full 1 hour session explaining and understanding from her what is the reason that she wants to do what she wants to do, and tried explaining. And I think this is the reason why I'm making this video, to make it very clear that we want our kids to go in a regular school, which we all dream of, but the aim is to understand why is it that we want them to do. We want them to go to a school so that he can learn, he can be with other kids of his age, and he can play with them, he could interact with them, he would learn to have that routine of getting up, sitting in the bus, going to school, taking care of his belongings, putting his tiffin into the bag, taking it out when the teacher asks for, learning to take a lot of group instructions. So there are a lot of things that we are wanting in our kids. If these are the kinds of things that you're thinking of for your child, amazing. But if your aim is that he just goes to a regular school, even if it is just with a shadow teacher, and even if he's secluded and if he's kept on to one side, then I think you need to consider and think whether it is the right decision. If your child can learn with a shadow teacher, sit in the class, focus, pay attention, even if it is with individualized help, I would still encourage that. I have worked with so many kids who all started with a shadow teacher. They all had this shadow teacher all the time with them, and gradually they learned to follow instructions, they learned to sit at one place, they learned to follow instructions by the teacher when it was given to a group for to the entire group and not just individually to the child. So I feel most of the kids gain those skills, and we are very clear, these parents who took admission to these schools were very clear. They communicated it to the teachers and to the school that there is a difficulty, and the sole reason why they want the child to be in that school is so that the child gets opportunities to participate in activities that other kids of his age would be participating in. They make it very clear to the school that their aim is not that he is able to learn academics at the pace at which other kids are learning. They're very clear that they do not want to compare their child with any other child who is neurotypically developing. What I'm trying to only communicate is that if I have my goals very clear, and if I know that my child is going to learn, even if it is to begin with a shadow, then it's a great idea to start with regular schooling. But if I start with this foundation where we are not disclosing the diagnosis to the school, I feel it's a breach of trust. And even if your child gets admission in that school, the teachers won't be able to help you out. Maybe when you disclose it to the school, you may get better support. I have worked with so many schools and so many students, and I have seen the willingness, how much the schools really, really, really want the kids to be included. And inclusion is a big, big, big part of many schools. They just don't know how to make it happen. And that's when they seek the assistance of an occupational therapist or a special educator who can guide them, or a counselor for that matter. The purpose of making this video is, if I'm looking at admission in a regular school, I need to be very clear that I am comparing my child with his own self. A step before that would be, I disclose it to the school that my child has these conditions, this diagnosis, he has these challenges, these are his strengths, and we are okay if he's not coping up at the pace at which others are coping up. And these are my expectations. It would be a very good idea to enroll your child in a school which has this kind of a resource room, so that if your child is not able to cope up, then these counselors, these psychologists, the special educators can provide the support that your child needs to learn in a school. Hiding the diagnosis does not help. I do not see that being very helpful. I feel it's a very good idea to explain to the school well in advance, and to seek that kind of a cooperation and that kind of support from the beginning itself. Because we would leave our kids in the school and we would be at home, and if the child is not able to cope up, it becomes really frustrating for the child to realize that he's not able to do things that other kids are able to. So I feel it's very, very, very important that we have clarity in our mind and we convey the diagnosis to the school. We take admission in a school where the teachers, the counselor, the special educator, all of them are willing to be a part of the team to support the learning for your child. So I think those are very important points. It should be very clear from the beginning that we would have a shadow teacher if required, and then how the shadow teacher would be weaned off, how therapy would go parallelly, how the home program would be followed up parallelly, so that the child is able to do things more independently in the school. So sharing the diagnosis is good. Being in a school that has a resource team is very good. Being clear of what are my goals for my child. Are those realistic? Am I getting too stressed up, like checking if my child is not able to pick up academics. And if your child is not able to pick up academics, I pause there and I'm okay with it. I convey this to the school very clearly. I know of many parents who'd say, it's okay, we'll repeat the class if need be, but we do not want to push our child. We do not want to go too fast with academics. We just want him to have those opportunities to be with other kids, to eat the tiffin together, to learn to go from one class to another, to follow simple instructions. So those are very important things. It'll be a very good idea to check for schools which have less number of students. If there are like too many students in the class, it becomes difficult for a child to be able to focus. And then it is a very, very good idea, once you've got admission in the school, to include all your therapists. If it's a special educator, speech therapist, occupational therapist, counselor, everyone, to make them as a part of the team, and consider meeting once in at least, I remember meeting up a lot of schools once in a month. I also meet schools once in 3 months, but it's not just me alone. We always have the principal, we have the supervisor of that particular batch. If it's a pre-primary or the primary section, we also have the head of the resource team, we have the special educator, we have the counselor, and then we together decide and discuss what are our objectives for the next 3 months for a child. The OT would give her views that you can modify the environment in this way. The educator would have her own views, and that way we make a program for the child. So if I really want inclusion, I think that teamwork is extremely important. Conveying the diagnosis to the school is extremely important. If the school is not open about taking kids, forcing your kid into a school, I don't think would help at all. It will just add up to a lot of stress. Believe me, I've met so many parents who keep coming to me and they're like, we're scared to meet the teacher. What if the teacher says he's not sitting? What if the teacher says he's not writing? What if the teacher says that he's not following instructions? There is a lot of stress in the mind of the parents, and many mothers admit and they do accept and confess that it's difficult for them to go and pick up their kids. So they're putting the kids in that kind of a stress, they are in that kind of a stress, and the learning outcomes, the main aim that the child learns, goes away for a toss, and we just get into this whole mess of trying to show to the school that my child can cope and my child can pick up, whereas that's not what it is. It's going to be a joint effort, being together, making it happen, one day at a time, one step at a time. And again, if you get admission to a school and if you feel 6 hours of time, because I know of a lot of kids who go for school for 5 hours, 6 hours, and if it's too long for your child, you can take your own time. You could just say that I would want my child to attend only 2 hours or only 3 hours. It all depends on you. So I feel you will have to advocate as a parent for your child. You need clarity on what is it that you want from the school. And once that's conveyed to the school will participate and cooperate and help you if they have been explained about the diagnosis, if they are getting all the reports. Believe me, I've worked with really lots of schools. Most of the counselors email me every 2 months, these are the changes that we find in our child. We want you to focus and help us with these few goals now. And again after 2 months, again after 2 months, and then that way we've seen so many kids who do not need my or any OT's intervention over a period of time. And I have seen my own cases and kids who used to come to me, who finished their 10th, who finished their 12th. Some of them have to skip. They had to take a break in their 7th and they did NIOS. Some of them had to take a break, after 9th standard, and then they finished the 10th through NIOS. But most of them did well for themselves. All that I'm trying to tell you is you need to advocate, you need to convey, you need to be clear about what is it that you want, and you need to steer that wheel of deciding and decision making for your child. And the first step for that is to convey to the school that there is a difficulty, and not enter the school with just this thing that he should be able to answer 3 questions and then we'll see what we want to do about it. Because when you say when we'll see what we want to do about it, you are actually creating this whole big stress in front of you, and school feels very stressful, and that whole outcome of learning just goes out of the window. I hope this small little video was helpful. I want you to be very clear about what your outcomes are when you want to enroll your child in a school setup. It's important that your child learns. Learning is the main thing. It is also very important to remember that, we are not comparing our child with some other child who's developing typically. We are comparing our child to his own self 2 months back. So 2 months back, he could not sit. Now he can sit. 2 months back, he could sit. He was always moving. Now he's sitting for at least 5 minutes. So I feel it's important to check what are those little gains that I'm getting with my child, rather than focus on ABCD 1 2 3 4. Is he learning? Is he reading? Those are also important, but before that, the pre-learning skills of being able to sit, being able to focus, being able to pay attention are equally important. Thank you.